All right. We didn't have an after show on Friday, so happy 4th of July, everybody. So we decided to do it today because most of us, you guys watched most of it than I did. I watched it on the RMCP channel. And what's the guy's name? Gale? His name is, how do you
Gale,
say
the
it?
Timmerman. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for, again, I said this on a video earlier today. Thank you for sharing your stream with us. It was amazing. The thing is, people were complaining about the sound. You realize he's streaming it from his phone to from his sound. It's not.
Well, no, the sound, you could also tell the sound mix was not good from the
Uh-huh.
bands. It wasn't just because you could hear some instruments, but others you couldn't hear. So it wasn't like I understand that we were watching it on his phone, but also the mix was just not good,
Yeah.
which we'll talk about.
Yeah, that's good, man.
Because one of my best friends was watching it. He bought the stream and watched it on there, and he said the sound sounded awful.
Yeah. Damn. Okay. I guess it just wasn't that on the stream. Hey, there's the Mooger D Fooger. Hey, Mooger, you're in black like Black Sabbath. Ozzy, Ozzy, Ozzy. I don't think Mooger's got to the Black Sabbath Ozzy part of the show, but he did watch a lot of stuff I didn't watch, so that's pretty
Nope,
cool.
nope, I did not quite get there.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
so
look,
do we want to just start at the beginning and kind of
yeah,
work our way
go
through it?
for it, Joseph. You started. You started from the beginning of
So
it.
Yeah,
did anyone
well,
watch Mastodon? Because I did not.
No,
we could chime in if we actually did see it too.
Okay. So did anyone watch Mastodon?
No.
no.
Okay. So
Fucking Mastodon rule.
the stream I was watching, they didn't start it till after Mastodon had already finished. So I didn't get to see
Exactly,
Mastodon.
exactly. Well, okay. I'm gonna take it here just a minute. So they say you could sign in at 9:30, and that was the time Mastodon was starting in the UK. So by 10, the live stream started, and I saw the second song of Mastodon and their Sabbath tribute. Anyway, I'm gonna back up. I'll back up.
So how did Mastodon sound since you saw them?
What's that?
You saw the second song, so how did they sound?
I fucking love them. I love Mastodon. I just saw them open up with Coheed and Cambria. So it was like Coheed and Cambria, Mastodon, and Periphery. And holy shit, was that a great show. Awesome show.
Nice.
Yeah,
Awesome show.
if I wouldn't have been out of town, I was going to go to that with Chris Elio, but I was out of town that weekend.
Oh, you had one near you.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
had a Chris had an extra ticket and he wanted me to go along with him, but I was out of town that weekend.
Oh no. It was a fantastic show. Um, yeah. So anyway, what are we here for, Mark?
Oh, well, we're already talking. We're talking
We already
about
started. You're late.
yeah, you're late. So go ahead, Joseph.
Are you serious? In the 4 minutes it took me to be late, you guys actually accomplished something?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
never happens, man.
So none of us.
Captain Howdy. Have you been here since the beginning?
Yes.
I've been staying away, but I'm here.
All right. So to catch me up, where are we at?
We're talking about
Start.
Black Sabbath back to the beginning, and we're talking about
Right.
the
So
show.
We're just
And
starting at the beginning of the
just
show,
starting
going
beginning the
through.
show. Go for it, Joseph. You started it.
So Mooger was the only one that saw Mastodon. So we got Mooger's opinion on Mastodon. Next up was Rival Sons, who saw Rival Sons. Okay, did we all
I
see
Fuck
Rival
did
yes.
see
Sons?
Rival
Okay,
Fuck
Sons.
yes.
awesome. So
Fuck yes.
Rival Sons, I thought sounded great. I thought that
Fuck yes.
they were one of the bands with a better sound mix, in my opinion. I think
Oh
the sound
yeah.
mix sounded good for them.
And
Um,
Electric Funeral sounded great. That
yeah,
was
they
pretty
did a great job on
solid.
Electric
Oh
Funeral.
fuck yeah.
Their two songs sounded great, and they did a
Dun,
really good job of Electric
dun,
Funeral.
dun, dun.
What do you guys think for Rival Sons?
Oh, I thought they were the best act of the day.
I
From what
wouldn't
I
go
saw.
that far, Mark.
Well, I love fucking Rival Sons, so I'm fucking a very big nut swinger on this band, and I'm saying you people in America need to get down with Rival Sons. I hope you
Ralph
guys saw
hated every
that.
second of them.
Ralph
Hey,
hates
Mark,
everything.
they have
No,
a groove. They have
Ra-
a groove.
Ralph made a post that was definitely directed at you, Mark. He said, if I see one more person saying Rival Sons are going to save rock and roll, I know why rock's dead."
I never said they're going to say rock and roll. I just said they're good.
I, I
Rock and
was
roll isn't dead, by the way.
I was surprised. I thought
It just
Rival.
smells funny.
I never saw them play before or anything. They were very good. Electric Funeral. They did I thought they did an excellent job. They were really tight with that. I like. I was always looking to see how a band try to keep the song as close to, and honor the original. And maybe if they want to throw a little difference in there, but the little nuances I appreciated though, as I'll talk on later.
Yeah.
My buddy that I said was watching the show, he saw Rival Sons open up for Clutch, I think last year.
Oh.
And he said that they were really great live when he saw them. He thought they were really great on the
They
stream
are
yesterday.
like they are like a theater club level band,
Yeah,
and
that was he saw them in like a
they
theater, I
shouldn't
think.
be, man. They should be arena
Arena.
level band.
Yeah. They have the sound,
All
they have
right.
the singer. Go for it, man.
So after Rival Sons was Anthrax, and I thought they blew chunks. I think why they only did two songs was just weird. And why would you do Indians? Why would you do Indians?
Because it's a long song. That's why they did two. Everyone else
Yeah.
was doing
Well,
three. Indians
then
can
pick
be a
literally-
13-minute song. It
pick
can be.
literally anything else. Like
Yeah.
that was the worst song they could have done.
They could
Honestly,
open up with.
I think
yeah.
since Frank
I get you.
Bello and Scott Ian were coming back out, it's almost like, all right, we'll just do two songs because we're
Well,
performing
some of the other
another
guys,
one
some of the
later
other
on.
guys were in like 4 bands.
I know,
So
but it seems like some musicians were saying like, well, I'm only playing 20 minutes, so and that's it. I'm sure setting the schedule up was hard.
Yeah.
As hell.
Well, anyway, I thought Indians was a really bad choice for them to pick to play. And I also did not like their cover of Into the Void at all. I thought they really butchered that song.
I didn't see it.
I liked it.
I thought
it
they
was cool.
butchered it. I thought Joey didn't sound good. And I like Joey's voice. Joey didn't sound good yesterday. And I think that was an issue with quite a few of the early singers, was singers that are usually really good. Something sounded off. Like there was a couple singers where like the vocals, and I think we'll talk about it later, especially with a certain couple bands, but I think there was a lot of issues with in-ear monitors yesterday. And I think that threw off quite a few bands.
I think also there was an 8-hour delay if they're from the West Coast. And I think that they probably flew right in, had a good night, partied maybe a little too much, maybe. And then they are jet lagged as shit. And they have to hit the stage and they're feeling it's 8 a.m. Okay. They're singing at 8 o'clock in the morning, 8:30 in the morning. To England, it was 11:30, 1:30, 2:33.
What I'll say is the band that I think did the best overall just played a show in England like 2 days before. So they were there for a couple days. So that might be part of it. But I personally thought Anthrax sucked the big one. And I just, in general, think Anthrax sucks.
I didn't hear the
one,
Indians, but I did hear Into the Void. I thought it was pretty cool.
Indians was nothing. I mean, I hate the song, but it didn't sound good. I think their instruments.
I don't think Indians was necessarily a bad choice. I understand why they picked it because they could take it. They could take it and extend it, but
they really didn't.
They did. They
not
did.
that long.
They had that whole middle section, and then it came back to.
Well, that's literally on the album. They just played the song.
I know it is, man, but
they just played the song. They didn't take it and make it longer.
It's like their 6-minute song, man. I mean, that's it. That's it. That's Prague fucking Anthrax right there.
Yeah.
So
excuse me. Hold on. Whoa.
No.
Did you just call Anthrax Prague?
They do have some pretty long proggy songs.
Not on Indians.
No, Joseph, I would never call them Prague because you're a Prague mastermind right here. So they're not Prague. I'm just saying they have a 6-minute song.
Yeah, well, a lot of
that's odd.
I mean,
that's
Metallica.
Odd for Anthrax.
Metallica. I mean, is there a song less than 6 minutes on Ride the Lightning or Master of Puppets? Like honestly,
yeah.
But I think that I just think it was a bad pick because it didn't fit. I really don't think Indians fit. Like somebody said that wasn't
they
Ozzy,
came up,
wasn't Ozzy in the video for Madhouse?
I don't remember.
Why didn't they do Madhouse?
He was in Take the Time, I think.
Got the Time?
No. I'm sorry. No. Anthrax was in an Ozzy video. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't remember.
Somebody said that Ozzy
it
was in the Madhouse video, so they should have done Madhouse.
Yeah,
which would have been better than.
See, I'm with
Indians.
you, Joe, because I think Indians, and I remember thinking of, I looked over to my wife and I'm like, really? Indians? I mean, there's so many better songs they could have opened with.
Mhm.
I did not think they butchered the Sabbath at all. I think everyone who did a Sabbath song did them justice. But I'm
Except for
with
Lamb of
you.
God.
No, I'm sorry. Okay.
Lamb of
There's
God
somebody
butchered
there's somebody
Children of the
coming
Grave.
up. Yeah, there's
Oh,
somebody coming up that I was like,
There's at least 5 or
yeah.
6 Sabbath covers that I
All
thought
right,
were
let's
awful.
keep moving along,
the
man. Let's keep
the, the
moving along.
Anthrax video is antisocial.
Well,
And just
okay,
okay.
okay. So all that being said, I think um Joey didn't butcher anything, but I think they just had a poor selection of songs. I think Rival Sons was
Oh
amazing.
yeah.
That's just me. But we should move on.
So up next was Hailstorm. They did 2 of their songs, including a new song, which I thought was pretty cool. And then they did Perry Mason. And I thought they sounded really good.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool that they pulled Perry Mason out because a lot of, I mean, most, at least the first like 7 or 8 bands, it was very obvious Ozzy and the Sabbath songs. Of course, when you get later and you get GNR and Metallica pulled out some deep cuts, but that was a pretty cool song for them to pull out because it wasn't like, I mean, it was a hit, but it wasn't a big hit, and I thought it was cool that they did that, and I think it fit Lizzie's voice really well. What did you guys think of Hailstorm?
I didn't get to see it, but I saw Ralph's
Anything.
comments on it.
Ralph hates Hailstorm,
Yeah,
so
he hates a lot of shit I like, but I
he
hate a
hates
lot of shit he
anything
likes.
modern.
He likes
So
yeah, anything after 1984 sucks.
pretty much,
Yeah.
unless
No,
it's like
I thought
underground thrash.
I thought Lizzie sounded great on Perry Mason. I mean, of course they had their own songs which were amazing. How she can do what she does in 6-inch heels, I don't know, but thank you. Thank you for doing that in 6-inch heels because I get to watch it. But it's like I had like gone to take a piss or something. I came out and I was like, I was like, holy shit, are they playing Perry Mason? Holy smokes. Yes, it's a deep track. It was the release, one of the first release off Osmosis.
Mhm.
It was the first single.
But it
And
wasn't the biggest songs.
no, it
I'll
wasn't.
still hear "See You on the Other Side" on the
Oh, I love
radio
that
quite a
song.
bit.
Exactly.
That one
Exactly.
got bigger. Perry
Yep.
Mason was a video because I've seen the video, but
Yep.
it wasn't a hit like "See You on the Other Side"
No,
was.
it just was. It was a great song, and you heard it
Mhm.
on rock radio all the
I mean,
time.
those are the 2 songs I really love off
That
that
would have been a
album.
good opportunity for Geezer to play the bass on that song because he actually
Mhm.
played the bass
Yeah.
on that song.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. So anyway, that was a very big surprise. I mean, Lizzie, come on, man. Who's hitting those notes? Not a lot of people hitting those notes. She has a very tenor voice. She has a very like tenor voice, like right in the middle for her singing voice. But when she wants to hit it, she screams, man, and it's lovely. And I love Perry Mason.
Yeah, me too.
See, I really thought it was cool that they were there because they're not a band that I would have thought would have been big enough to be on a show like this, but I thought they did a great job.
They're
Oh
huge
yeah,
in America, though. They play arenas here.
Well, huge is a bit of an
Well, they
overstatement.
play. They're bigger than Rival Sons.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean,
and
outside of
Rival
like,
Sun should be in arenas, and Hailstorm should be opening, but
I don't believe. I think
Hailstorm
they bullshit
does
Joe
like
then.
Hailstorm come here to the RB market, which is Fort Wayne. It's a B market, not
yeah,
gonna lie.
they're doing B markets. Hailstorm isn't doing like A towns.
Yeah, but they'll pull 3 to 5,000, you know.
Then the
See,
Pretty
it's
Reckless and Rival Sons should get
it's
together.
hard for me. It's hard for me to judge around here because they're from here. So like, they sell out around here because I mean they're from like 20 minutes away from where I live. So it's kind of hard to judge that around here. But I didn't think they were that big. But I'm surprised, and I thought they did a great job. So I'm really glad that they were able to be there.
Hey, you bring Shine down around here, forget about it. They're sold out. Sold
they're
out. Sold out.
they're sold out
sold
everywhere. They sell really well.
And
Shinedown
I
does a really good
saw
job for
them.
themselves.
I saw them with 500 other people, maybe, at a small club when they were starting out with their first record.
Oh,
And
nice.
then a little bit bigger, to our expo, and then to our arena. I mean, I've seen that band grow. Anyway, that's not why we're
Well, it's
here.
kind of like that's kind of similar to Breaking Benjamin because Breaking Benjamin's from here as well, and they did the same
Ooh.
thing where they like started out.
And I have seen them with 2 people
Mhm.
at a club, and I was like in the front trying to
You just
Like,
reminded me of
it's like,
something I want.
yeah,
I was
you're
thinking,
like, yeah, you and the
what
bartender like us.
I was thinking because I was programming my radio show for Tuesday on here,
Yeah,
and I
you
was
mentioned
going
wanting to put Breaking
Breaking
Benjamin on.
Benjamin.
Yeah,
You just reminded me. You're like, oh, what did Joseph say I should put on there?
yeah.
Yeah. All right, keep going.
But did anyone else have anything that they wanted to say about Hailstorm?
No, I didn't see them, but I saw comments.
Okay. After them, I'll leave it to everyone else. Was Lamb of God. I do not like Lamb of God. I am not a Lamb of God fan. I've seen them twice. I think they're awful.
How is
But
Children of the Grave?
I really did not like their version of Children of the Grave.
I put it on mute after about 10 seconds.
I don't like his voice. I
Was
don't.
it close? Was it?
Horrible.
But was it close to the original? Like,
No,
No,
they fucked it bad.
It's Cookie Monster
Cap-
shit.
Captain, help me out here, man. Help me out. Did you
He
like
didn't watch
Lamb
it.
of God?
No, I watched it, but I put it on mute after about 20 seconds. I go,
No.
I go, fuck this shit.
No.
Even like the
Marbles.
music, they made the music death metal.
Yeah, it was horrible. No groove. They took groove out of Children of the Grave.
I will agree with Mark on
They
that.
took the groove out of Children of the Grave. They fucking suck balls. Lamb of shit.
No. Lamb of God, row my boat ashore. I fucking love Lamb of God. I love Randy. I love the band. I love
How
the
dare
crew.
you name my band after my Lord and Savior?
Yeah. Well, they were originally called Burn the Preacher.
That would be better. That makes more sense. They burned my brain.
Burn the Preacher. Now they're called Lamb of God. Okay. But anyway, Randy's a solid dude. It doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. If you listen to the music, you like it, you don't like it. Vocals have always, to this day, been a tipping point for me.
Me too.
Early Lamb of God, like Burn the Preacher era, I didn't, his vocals were grating. Back about 3 albums in, I started liking him. And I had no problem with Children of the Grave. Fuck, better than Sabbath could have done it, in my opinion. But
See, here's my thing. I've seen them live twice. I didn't like them, but from what I could tell from when I've seen them live, and it was even just like a year or two ago, I didn't think he sounded good yesterday. Again, another band that I don't think he sounded good vocally yesterday. He was struggling at points quite a bit.
I think a lot of vocalists were struggling with like jet lag, like 8 hours difference for them, and they're like, God damn it, it's 8 in the morning, but no, it's 3 in the afternoon here, or 1 in the afternoon,
See,
whatever.
the only two that I really have that to say about are him and Joey Belladonna. That was really it.
I will actually say that too. Like, Joey just didn't, he's got a fucking amazing voice, and he just didn't bring it.
Well, yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I don't like Randy's voice, but I know he can sound better than he did yesterday.
Well, when he was doing the first couple of, oh no, this is not a revolution. I mean, that song was fucking amazing. The first song, second song, he was just screaming. When he was doing Children of the Grave, you could tell he was struggling at the sing.
Yes,
sing,
that's what
not
I'm talking
bark,
about. Yeah.
not bark, sing his first 2 verses.
But the band had no groove.
No, it had so much groove.
Oh god,
dude, their Children of the Grave is da 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 da.
It has a groove. It has a groove. Let's move on.
We're not gonna come to an agreement on that one.
Yeah, let's move on.
So
next, they didn't lose the groove. Anyway, we're going backwards. Let's go.
Up next was the first supergroup, and I think this is what, when we get to the next supergroup, we'll have a different discussion, because I think this is how it should have been done. So this supergroup, it was Nuno Betancourt, who else was? Jakey Lee, Dave Ellefson, Mike Borden, and Adam Wakeman for most of it. And then they switched out a couple people here and there. But that was the base band. They started out with Shot in the Dark with Lizzie Hale on vocals. Ultimate Sin with Lizzie Hale. Ultimate Sin with Lizzie Hale on vocals. Then it was Shot in the Dark and Sweet Leaf with David Draymond on vocals. Believer with Whitfield Crane on vocals, and then Changes with Youngblood on vocals.
I miss Whitfield Crane, but I heard he killed it.
I thought he was okay. I didn't think it was. I mean, that's not really that challenging of a vocal song to begin
It's
with.
not.
It's not one of Ozzy's more challenging vocals. It's kind of da 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 da. It's
But he
he's
could
not
sing
like
he
screaming.
could sing a challenging song if he needed to.
But I'm
He's got
saying
the voice.
he didn't
Yeah,
blow me away. It
he's got the
like
voice.
for example, I thought Lizzie Hale did a great job with Ultimate Sin. I really didn't like how David Draymond did Shot in the Dark, but I really liked how he did Sweet Leaf. I thought his voice sounded great on Sweet Leaf, and I really was blown away by how Youngblood did Changes. I thought he sounded great. Um, but overall, I thought of the different super groups, I thought this was a really solid set of songs. I
It was
really
nice.
enjoyed how they did this. I wish the next one was like this.
It was nice to see Jake back, man.
Yes, Jake was
Mhm.
amazing.
Yeah.
And playing the Ultimate Sin material.
Yes.
Like, that's something that Ozzy just kind of like say, Ultimate Sin, no, that album doesn't exist. Just he put a little magic dust over your eyes and say, no, that album never existed.
Well, just because of the bass
I would
player.
say this about the Ultimate Sin, they killed it great. It was so awesome to hear. And see Jakey Lee put aside personal differences. I'm sure that still exists with Sharon Osbourne and
I
perform.
was a little pissed that he didn't come out with Ozzy
I was a
because
little
I
too.
originally saw something that he had said he was going to be playing a song with Ozzy, and then he didn't.
Maybe
That,
they
And
that would
changed
be a
it.
great idea.
I
Yeah.
haven't seen that part, asshole.
Here's
Thanks.
you're
Thanks.
welcome.
But,
Uh,
Lizzie,
but
I thought Lizzie Hale sang Until Sing great. I'm glad
yes,
they
I
gave
thought
her
she
that
did
song.
really well. Yeah.
She
Hey,
smoked that song. Jakey Lee, of course, great guitar player. He when he plays solo, he plays the Ultimate Sin. So those notes he's got them down pat. The same thing with Shot in the Dark though.
and Nuno kicked ass. I'm just saying.
Nuno was the unsung hero, I
When
thought.
Jakey Lee was on stage, it was all about Jake. Nuno
Yeah.
did
Yeah,
really great with the songs
but
after Jake left.
Yeah.
Nuno. Well, I don't want to give away too much, but Nuno smoked the guitar solos.
Yeah.
Well, so like when it was Jake out there, Nuno did a respectful thing and he just stepped back. He was
Yeah.
like in the back against his back line
Yep.
and he was just playing the rhythms and he was like, yeah,
Mhm.
you know. And I remember playing both those songs in cover bands. And when that lead takes off, you step to the back, man. You just let that lead take it. And I was never a lead guy. So I just let my lead guy take it. Anyway, where are we at, Joe? Where are we at now?
Mark, did you see any? You said you didn't
I
see
saw
Whitlow
some of that.
Green.
I saw some.
Okay.
I saw the entire.
I saw them do
scene.
Shot in the Dark, and it was a great solo. And I think, oh, they're doing like they're not letting him do any Bark at the Moon. That's like that sucks.
Well, this is where I was when he came out and did that. My first thought went to, okay, they're saving Bark at the Moon for him to do with Ozzy,
Yeah.
because
Right.
that's like the only song from those. Well, he does. Ozzy still usually on his last tour he still played Shot in the Dark, but Bark at the Moon's really the only Jakey Lee song that he really does live anymore.
Mhm.
So I figured, okay, they're saving that for with Ozzy. But when we get to the Ozzy part, there's two things I thought Ozzy overall did really well, but there was two things I had complaints about that we'll get to.
We'll get there.
I
But
just want to also say,
check your phone, Mark.
Betancourt did
Um,
Believer. That guitar solo was phenomenal.
yes.
Excellent, excellent.
So up next, this is the first one that I have major complaints about the sound, and it wasn't anything to do with the band. And that is Alice in Chains.
Yes, they cut
Did-
out like a
Did
2
anybody
minutes of
see Jack
sound.
Black?
Well,
Did
that's
anybody
not
see
even the
Jack
biggest
Black?
part. Well, that was I didn't even
And
see
you
that.
couldn't hear Jerry.
I didn't. I
That
didn't.
was that's my complaint.
I didn't see Jack Black, but I know he paid homage to that astronaut
he dressed
video
up
with the
like-
Ozzy glitter
with the
shirt.
blue and the white
Yeah,
fringe.
yeah. I still gotta find it. I'm sure Jack Black actually sings pretty good, which is shocking. He
Yeah,
has a good
Jack Black has
voice
a good
like
voice.
Ozzy. Because some people think like, oh, he's a comedian. He's just gonna goof on like singing heavy metal, but no, he's for real.
Well, no, I mean, listen to Tenacious D. He has a good voice.
Yeah, well,
Um,
I don't listen to like a bunch of Tenacious D. I've seen
Yeah.
him. I actually saw that little funny clip he does with Ronnie James Dio, like
Mhm.
they're doing a Heaven and Hell kind of spoof about smoking the
Yeah.
token it up a little bit, And Dio like gives him the money if you please stop singing, He actually gives him some money, and do more
But,
Tenacious
yeah.
D.
So was that Jack Black Crazy Train?
It was Mr.
Was
Crowley.
that before
Crowley.
Alice? Was
It was
that
Mr.
before?
Crowley, and it was like on video.
Oh,
Like they
Mr.
filmed
Crowley.
it.
You're right. Yeah.
They filmed it, and they aired it between the supergroup and Alice in Chains.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Now
Were they
for
aired
Alice in
between? I missed
Chains,
it.
I only saw them do Ferris wheel boots, and actually it was a fan made videos, and it sounded the vocals sounded okay,
Mm-hmm.
but I
So
didn't
yeah,
see
no,
like I didn't
I
see the
thought
The
I thought
video was super edited, so it was like edited to everyone's playing
it's
their
funny.
best
It
part.
depends which version you see. You might have a different like
well,
Right.
opinion of the song.
here's what happened with that. On first broadcast, the whole sound dropped out for Fairies Wear Boots about half the song. Um, and then I think it was before Metallica, they re-aired it. They
Okay.
on the broadcast, they
Yeah.
re-aired it with the sound there. So
Okay.
they re-aired it.
That's
But they
when I
also
saw it.
fixed originally Jerry and Sean Kinney messed up the intro. They had to start the song over again.
Yep.
When
Yeah.
they re-aired it, they cut that out. They just went right into the song. They didn't air the mess up.
Because Jerry was like right in front of Sean, and
Yeah, he had to
was, like,
walk over in front of him like
yeah, he
"God,
was like
God."
playing. He was like, and then there was nothing, and I was like,
that
my
right
wife
there,
and I were like, oh, that's fucked up.
that right there is for me. Alice in Chains was one of the first big issues to me with like something was messed up in ear because Sean must not have been able to hear where Jerry was in the intro.
And I'd imagine that audio was all over the place for these
Yeah.
guys. And Jerry was trying to be up on Sean, like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm playing this. And then it was like, I missed it. He was like, okay, let me start
Yeah.
again. Okay, here we go. And then
they went into it and it was great.
And then it was
Yeah.
fine. Yeah.
I
yeah.
thought William Duvall sounded great. The
Oh,
big
yeah,
issue for
yeah.
me was
Oh my
Uh,
God. I've seen him so many times, solo and with Alice. I thought he sounded the best I've ever heard him today.
he was great. Every time I've seen him live, he
Or
sounds
yesterday or
amazing.
whenever I heard him. Yeah.
I need to
but
see them.
the sound issue was, like Mooger said, you couldn't hear Jerry Cantrell's vocals
You couldn't.
on the first song and a half. So they opened up with Man in the Box. Jerry's kind of stuck in that place because his talk box is on that mic. So he can't
Right.
really go anywhere. So
Right.
he's stuck there. And of course, if you know Man in the Box, in the chorus, it goes back and forth between
Mhm.
him and William. So you couldn't hear anything Jerry was singing. And then, of course, the next song they did was Wood, and
Mhm.
Jerry's vocals opened the song. You couldn't hear a word he was saying for the entire first verse of Wood.
We actually heard him on Wood. We didn't hear him on
He
the other
switched. Here's what happened. On the first verse, you couldn't hear him. He walked
Okay.
over to a different mic.
one.
About
Okay.
when William was doing the first chorus, you
Right.
saw him. He walked over to a different mic, and then for the rest of the song, you could hear him.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But
So yeah, we were also my wife is a Jerry Cantrell worshiper.
mhm.
She worships him like a god. And so we're sitting there watching. It was like broken brown. I was like, where's Jerry?
Where's Jerry?
Where's Jerry? And she was like, I can't fucking hear Jerry.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man.
So he must have noticed it by the second verse, walked over to the other mic and started singing, and you could hear him perfectly fine.
And that's a professional. He knows he's not hearing himself in this
Yeah.
mic. They have in-ears.
That's
If he's
like-
not hearing himself in
Yeah.
in-ears, he's got to walk.
That's like what back in the Grammys, 7 or 8 years ago, when
Yeah.
when Metallica and Lady Gaga,
Ugh.
when James's mic didn't work, and then like
He was
halfway through the
pissed.
song, he just went and started singing at a different mic,
Yeah.
Right.
because he knew. But so
But you also saw the dress rehearsal of that, right?
yes,
It was
then he sounded
perfect.
great. Yeah.
And then when they decided to fuck with James or something happened,
Mhm.
Vern unplugged the audio cable, and it was like Vern's fired.
Yeah.
No.
So
Something
anyone
happened.
else have anything to say about Alice in Chains?
I just thought they sounded good from what I heard. I didn't hear the part where his mic cut out. I heard that when they
Yeah.
came back before Metallica, I heard that part.
Yeah, when they did.
Yeah.
Well, so what happened? It wasn't even just their mics. The whole audio feed for the entire
Yes.
live stream dropped out.
Then at the top of my computer it said, "We are aware of the audio issue. We are working to save it."
Yeah,
Because
and
I
it
was
came up-
about to refresh my browser, and my wife was like,
that's
"Don't
what
do it."
Gail did. That's what
She was
Gail
like,
did
"Don't
before
do
the
it.
message
Don't-"
popped up.
Yeah.
She was like, "Don't fuck with it. Just it's not on our end."
Yeah, so it came back right, but like before the last verse of Fairies Wear
Right,
Boots.
right. So
But I thought
Sweet
they did a
Leaf.
great version of Fairies Wear Boots.
So does the
I agree.
replay? I'm getting close to the replay. Does the
Mhm.
replay have that audio?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
So I'm getting there.
I'm assuming the replay is just like, oh, you mean like what they re-aired before Metallica?
Right, right,
Yeah,
right.
no, the one that they re-aired, it's the full song. They re-aired it and it's the full song and
Gotcha.
there's no audio issues. Um,
Okay. Okay. Great.
but after Alice in Chains, was another band that I thought was plagued by audio issues, and that was Gojira, because you
Yes.
could not hear his vocals at all.
Nope.
Um, and I love Gojira. I'm a huge Gojira fan. I thought,
Really?
yeah,
You're a
well, they're
Gordita fan?
yeah,
That's the newest taco at Taco Bell.
yeah. Um, but I thought they were great.
No,
I just wish you
I
would have been
love
able
them.
to hear his vocals because I do like
His
his voice.
I heard them, but we just watched it, and it sounded like his vocals. I wasn't hearing it through a board. I
Yeah.
was hearing it off of the back wall.
Yes.
Like I could hear it, but I wasn't hearing it.
The same thing happened with, we'll talk about it in a little bit, but I think the same thing, similar kind of, not as bad, but similar with Phil Anselmo. His vocals were kind of drowned out
Oh
too.
my God, his vocals were drowned as fuck. I couldn't hear him very much at all.
Yeah.
I,
So
hey, Mark,
I'm here.
Mark. We're gonna get to another singer later that I just love, and he sounded so good. Anyway, take it away,
um
Joe.
what did you guys have anything you wanted to say about Gojira?
I didn't get to see Gojira. I'm not a fan of them, but I didn't get to see them, so I don't know.
They are so good. They are Frenchy
Mhm.
Frenchies.
I know our friend Vince Cabana loves them.
I thought I saw them open. Who did I see them open for? I think I saw them open for Slipknot,
Ew.
and they were good.
Uh,
Um,
Gurgia?
mhm.
Yeah, I saw them open up for Lacuna Coil
All night.
here in Fort Wayne.
My
So.
my buddy that also was at that Slipknot show, but the one that I was talking about that saw Clutch and Rival Sons, he saw Gojira like either I think 2 years ago open up for Deftones,
Ooh,
and he said that they were
what?
amazing.
Deftones?
What?
Mm-hmm.
Oh God.
They're gonna destroy them.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody could destroy the Deftones. I hate them.
So up next is where I really started to find some fault with the show. First you had what was advertised as a drum off, and the drummers involved were Chad Smith from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Danny Carey,
And Chickenfoot.
Danny
I didn't
Carey
even
from
say
Tool, and Travis Barker from Blink 182.
that. Ew.
All three of them, I think, are good drummers individually. This was a cluster if I've ever seen one in my life. And I felt bad for everyone on the stage, including Nuno Betancourt and Rudy Sarzo, who both deserved way better. Another one, I couldn't believe Rudy Sarzo didn't come out and play a song with Ozzy.
All right.
But they did Symptom of the Universe, which why anyone would do that song as an instrumental drum off, I will never understand. But I could tell, I think Travis Barker was going over his time.
He did.
And you could tell Chad Smith's face was like, is this guy done yet? Like, what's going on here?
Symptom of the Universe usually is an instrumental during the Ozfest years. I'll say that.
Well, yes.
Maybe that's why they
because
said, like,
Ozzy
we
can't
used to
sing
do
it.
this as instrumental. Which actually was one of my favorite Ozfests is when they did songs that Ozzy couldn't sing anymore. Like they did an instrumental of Revelation, Mother Earth, the groove section that picks up after a solo, and Symptom of the Universe, and another one I can't really remember. Maybe it was Diary of Madman, but it was great because they played songs that Ozzy couldn't sing anymore, which was perfect.
So, Joe, thank you for being the other one to realize that Travis went one bar over.
Yes.
It's like they were all supposed to go back into the da 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 da, and he was like,
Travis Barker's a
Chad,
douche.
and they even showed Chad, and he was like, "Really, dude?"
And then Danny Carey was just
go
cracking
one
up.
bar over.
Danny Carey was cracking up.
Yes, the professionals
He's
that
married
they
to a
are.
Kardashian. You know he's an asshole.
So it was like just the professionalism and like he was like looking at the other drummers like, ah, fuck you guys.
Yeah.
If we're gonna have
They were just busting balls. And when you get 3 drummers up there, fuck, it's gonna be an ego. It's gonna be an ego.
if
But
you're gonna
now, if I
have
was
3 drummers, count the four. 1, 2. It's four bar measures. Like, gosh, how hard is this thing in
Hey,
time?
Chad Smith's the best
how
one up
many
there, in my
drummers
opinion.
does it take to change a light bulb? 0.
They
because
should have
can't-
just had
stick to
Chad
one
Smith up there
drummer
to fuck the other two. I'm sorry. I don't like Faith No More. I don't like Bourdain
It
or whatever his
wasn't-
name is.
It was Danny Carey from Tool, Mark.
Yeah, he's okay.
It wasn't
He's
Mike
the
Gordon.
fucking
Oh, was it?
elder
Mike Gordon
statesman
played
out of
earlier.
all of them.
I think
Mike
Chad
Gordon played earlier.
Smith Chad Smith
was-
has been
it
around
was-
longer
it
than
was-
Tool.
Yeah, but it was Chad
what-
Smith, Travis Barker, and Danny Carey.
Oh,
were
okay.
the
Well,
three.
Danny Carey's okay. He's not as good as everybody thinks he is, Tim.
I think
Yes,
he's a
he
great
is.
drummer,
He's
but
a goddamn amazing drummer.
I think Chad Smith is better.
He is. No, Dana Carey is parallel with Neil Peart.
Oh God, no. I take
Yes.
Mike Portnoy on that level, but not Danny.
Well,
Danny
okay,
Carey
I-
has
I
no fucking
didn't-
groove.
I didn't put levels there, dude. I said it was next to.
I'm just saying Danny Carey's a fucking damn fine drummer, but the thing is he doesn't have that fucking like groove that I like. It's like
I don't think every drummer needs to have a groove, Mark, and that's
A drummer
your
is
issue.
a groove.
That is your issue.
Okay, here's my biggest fucking problem with
I want to hear
the
Joey Kramer's.
exception of Sabbath is that all these drummers come out and try to play Bill Ward, and they're all like smack, 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 smack. That is not fucking Bill
No.
Ward. He is a swing. He's a swing drummer,
Yeah.
man.
Jazz.
He's like hitting that snare and hitting the ride,
Yeah.
hitting that. and
He's
hitting
like
the
he's like
cymbal.
Peter Criss. They were jazz drummers, man.
He
The only
is.
the
He is a
closest thing that
jazz
Bill
band.
Ward ever had to like a mathematical was War Picks. That's the closest he ever had to a. That's the closest he ever had.
You even get Tony, like Ozzy's touring drummer for the last, 10, 15 years? He's like,
What?
smack, 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 smack. Very methodical on everything. And I was like,
Machine.
Well,
Bill
that's
is not
that's
methodical.
why that's
man.
why 13 sucked.
What's that?
That's why 13
I
sucked.
think 13 sucked because it was produced by an idiot. But
Well, that too, but anyway, beyond the drumming
Anyway,
thing,
let's
here's
move
where-
on.
here's where we'll get into my big rant for the show. And Mark, stay out of it until I finish my rant.
okay,
Can
I
I
need
just
more
say-
alcohol.
Can I just say something with the
Yes, Mark.
before you go on
I'm
a
gonna go
rant?
get some more alcohol then.
Yes.
With all
going.
stuff, this is this is
Are we
my biggest
recording
issue.
live video here? Let's talk about something else here, Joe. And
Hmm?
Captain, what do you think about the show as a whole? Have you seen the?
But
As a whole-
Mark was saying something here.
As
What
a
were you saying,
whole,
Mark?
as a whole, I thought it was very good, but there's some issues, which is the issues is going to be now with Supergroup B. I'll let you guys really tear it apart, but I really only got to see it once.
Okay.
The big issue is why the heck are you playing songs like Rock Candy, Train Kept the Rolling, Walk This Way, Whole Lot of Love? It's like what?
Mhm.
And
That's what I'm about to get to.
what in the heck?
Okay.
You totally just grinding the show down the
Yes.
hall. It's cool to see KK Downey come out. It's cool to see these all-star musicians come out. Sammy Hagar come out. But I don't want to see Sammy Hagar play Rock Candy. I'm glad Steven Tyler's voice is much better now. I was shocked. I'm like, wow.
I would love to have heard Steven Tyler do a 70s Sabbath song. That would have been
that's
great.
yeah, but I was shocked to hear him singing well again. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
Led Zeppelin.
yeah. But it was that's my big rant. It's pretty much over. Just don't grind the show to halt by playing your songs. Just tribute.
They all played their songs.
No,
though.
Mark,
But
Mark,
they
Here-
played
here's-
more of their sons.
here's where I didn't do my rant yet. So here's my
Okay.
rant.
All right, okay. We're gonna reset. Joe, Supergroup B, go.
We've been recording this whole time, Mooger. I don't know what you're doing.
I have
We're-
no
we're
idea.
we're putting this whole
Because
video up.
when I do this reset,
He's telling us
it's
to
in
shut
my
the
mind.
fuck up.
It's just in my mind.
Okay, so Supergroup B. Here's my big issue. Mark touched on half of it with not playing your songs. If you wanted to play your damn songs, do your own damn set. Do not do it as one of these super groups. The point of these super groups was to get different musicians together and do Ozzy and Sabbath songs. Look at Supergroup A. I thought they did an amazing job of it. Those different ones when they did Believer and Ultimate Sin and Shot in the Dark and Sweet Leaf and all that. That was what the whole point was. You have them come out, and I am sorry. Whoever ever wanted to hear Billy Corgan do Breaking the Law.
And he's terrible at it. He can't sing Breaking the Law.
What was that?
No.
Like, I understand, yeah, Priester from Birmingham too. I get that. And I get that KK's there for an ego trip. I get that. But I don't need to hear people doing a bunch of random musicians doing a Judas Priest song at a Black Sabbath concert. I don't need to hear that. But I also don't need to hear Billy Corgan butchering a Black Sabbath song, which is what came next. Holy shit. This was so bad. And I tell you, I do not hate Billy Corgan as a vocalist. When I saw them live last year, I didn't think he sounded too bad. I'm not a huge fan of the Smashing Pumpkins, but I don't think he's that awful as a vocalist. This was atrocious. This is not his style of song. He had no reason to be singing this song. And I thought it came off so bad that I was happy when Sammy Hagar came out and butchered Flying High. Imagine that for a second.
At least Sammy did sing an Ozzy song.
I could hardly hear Sammy sing Flying High again.
Well, that's okay because he didn't know the lyrics.
Yeah.
Imagine him actually taking the time to learn
Well,
the lyrics.
I'm sorry. But
Imagine him
guys,
actually taking the time to learn the lyrics of somebody else's
the
song.
lyrics that he sang.
but from Mastodon on, anyone singing a Sabbath song was looking at lyrics on the floor.
Not all of them.
On their snare. Oh, bullshit. On their snare drum.
I guarantee
you. Tell me who wasn't, because I saw that person. That
Axl Rose,
thought, what?
James Hetfield.
I thought they didn't.
Because
And
they
I
play
saw
those
that-
songs before.
Then I saw
No.
them look.
Oh?
Then I saw them look down.
Junior's eyes?
And
They've
then
never
I saw
done
the
that.
back camera, and it was a fucking lyric sheet on the floor.
Well,
I was
they
like,
have that for
God
every
damn
band.
it, you're
They have
the
that
one
for
I
every band
thought
for their
wouldn't
own
need to
songs.
do that.
They do.
They have that for every band for their own damn
They have
songs, 'cause
monitors where they have iPads coming up.
Nobody
on
has
it.
bothered to learn songs anymore.
Dude, I've
Well,
been in it long enough.
a-
I know when it's a set list. It's gonna be
okay.
three
Well,
fucking songs.
Here's the
All right, guys. Let Joe
Pause.
finish.
Everyone.
I'm out.
I've seen Alice in Chains twice. Jerry Cantrell sits there and scrolls through an iPad the whole show.
He does.
Absolutely. I've seen him on his solo tour. He has an iPad right there as his mic stand. And
he sits there and
definitely
scrolls through
does.
it the whole show.
I'm not saying that, but if you're gonna say,
But every
if you're
single
gonna
band
sing
does
for
that.
Ozzy's and Sabbath tribute, learn your fucking song.
Yeah, that's what
I
Joe was saying.
agree.
And that's what I'm saying. Because
That's what he's
Sammy
saying.
Hagar didn't.
This
Yeah,
Mess those lyrics up
Jesus
so
Christ,
bad.
he didn't even try.
No,
All I'm
this
sa-
this
all I'm
lineup was
saying
set
is
months
other
ago, too.
people,
How the heck can you
like-
not know the song?
Bron Daler sung Sabbath, but he had it on his snare drum, and he was like looking at the snare drum the whole time he was singing. And then you have Joey Belladonna was the only guy I didn't see looking at anything, and everybody else is looking. Billy Corgan, I love Billy Corgan. I'm fucking mad about the guy. He should not have sung those songs. It just didn't work. It didn't work. And him
And I don't
his
think
Uncle
Flying High
Fester
can
outfit
work for
just
Sammy
didn't
Hagar
work
either.
I
don't think
I
that
agree,
for-
but Rock
I don't
Candy
think
did.
that worked for him. Well, I don't want to hear that at a Black Sabbath show. That's the thing.
I loved it. though.
Here's my thing. No, here's my thing. If Sammy Hagar would have come out there and done his own set with whoever, with Satriani and Michael Anthony and all them, sing whatever the hell you want. I don't care. If you're coming out as part of one of these super groups and you have the guts to sing your own damn song at a Black Sabbath concert, get out of here.
But what
Get
can I
out of here.
can I tell you something about that song Rock Candy? When everybody's
That it
around,
sucks ass?
No, but when everybody's around him, even fucking the drummer Vinnie Paul, they always wanted to do Rock Candy with Sammy Hagar. So maybe
Good
these
for
other
them.
musicians
This
asked
isn't a
them to
Sammy
do
Hagar
Rock
tribute
Candy.
concert.
I know, but maybe they said, "Hey, let's play Rock Candy, Sammy."
Well, he should have told him, no, this isn't about me.
Well, he's not going to say no.
Well, he's not. Well, there you go. Thank you for proving my point.
But I'm saying
Thank you
other
for
musicians
proving my
beg him
point.
to play that song with them, though.
Well, good for them.
I'm just saying.
And then I continuing to finish out my rant. I love Ghost. We all know I love Ghost.
Oh,
I
God.
think that Tobias butchered Bark at the Moon. I thought that was awful.
He butchered
No,
everything he
I
sang.
don't think so.
I
think so.
love his voice. I love Ghost. I love
I know you
most
do. I
everything
know
they've
you
done.
do.
I did not think he sang that well at all.
Really?
And that one I do think was some mic issues because you could tell. I think on a better day he could have done that song better.
I don't think he did
Probably in the studio because he's more of a studio vocalist than
Yeah,
live
exactly. He sucks.
I didn't say that, Mark.
Well,
No. I think he sounded. I did see that, and I thought he sounded adequate. I don't think it was great, but I don't think his voice is meant for that song.
I can't
That's
wait
what
till
I'm
we
saying.
get to Guns N'
I don't
Roses.
think he should have sang that song.
No.
And then,
But-
as much as I love hearing Steven Tyler, and I was amazed that he sounded great. I was really happy that he
Yeah.
sounded great.
Fuck
But-
yeah.
I would have given anything to rather hear him do a 70s Black Sabbath song than to do Train Kept a Rollin', which I hate in the first place,
Fuck you.
and
That
walk
was
this
fucking
way.
beautiful. That was beautiful.
Okay, here's my thing
Beautiful.
though, Mooger. On any other day, I'd be more than happy to hear that.
I
On
know.
any other day.
I get it.
Or if
I
he
get
came out and they gave him 20 minutes and it was just the Steven Tyler show,
Right.
as like Gojira did their songs and Anthrax did Indians and all this
Sure.
stuff.
Sure.
If you give him his own set and here's 20 minutes, Steven Tyler.
I'm
He
sorry,
did,
but
he
when
did Led Zeppelin. Why couldn't he do Sabbath?
Exactly.
I agree with you on that.
Exactly.
I agree with you on that.
That's
He
my
could do
whole
Zeppelin, he could have done Sabbath.
I'm sorry. I heard
this
Train
part
Kept
was
a
where the
Rollin',
show
and
went
I
off
was
the
like,
rails.
I'm rolling. Oh, no.
See, to be fair, I hate that song to begin with. So
I love
Oh,
that song.
come on.
I love every version
Come
of it.
on,
I have
Joseph.
heard that song. I've heard that song 10 too many times on the radio.
You are the goddamn inspiration to me, and you don't like that song?
I love the Yardbirds version. I love the old blues version.
I've just
I-
heard it too many times.
I love Aerosmith's version. It's
I love
so
Aerosmith's
fucking
version.
good.
I love Led Zeppelin when they did it live. Fucking great shit, man.
Train kept a rolling all night long.
But anyway,
All
that's
right.
my rant. I think this entire portion of the show was largely ridiculous. I don't think a
Let's
single
go.
song. I'm not going to say not a single song was good because, like I said, I think Steven Tyler sounded amazing. I'm so glad that he sounded amazing, but
Yes.
I didn't want to hear that at this show.
Right.
And I think
that.
this whole thing went on too long. The first supergroup was 5 songs. They switched people out. It was great. This was like 7 plus the drum solo.
Oh.
This went
you
on
don't need
for
a drum
way
solo
too
in a
long.
tribute concert.
But yeah,
Mhm.
between the drum battle, then 7 songs, and 5 of them sucked.
You don't need a drum solo in a fucking tribute show, man.
And literally, Steven Tyler coming out was the only thing that saved this, and I still wish he would have done. Black Sabbath.
Only 3 drummers in rock history, 4 drummers in rock history needed drum solo. Neil Peart, John Bonham, Keith Moon, and fucking Mike Portnoy. The rest could shut the
Well,
fuck
3
up.
of them are dead. So, yeah.
Well,
Right.
Mike Portnoy is not dead.
I said 3. You named 4.
But I'm saying those are the only drummers in rock history I want to hear do a drum solo.
But anyway, does anyone else have anything that they want to say here about Super?
No, I agree. I agree with you 100%, Joseph, on that though.
Let's
just
go
wanna
with
say-
Go ahead,
let
Tim.
Mark Daly-
Captain. Go.
Well, I'm disappointed in Sammy because I think he talked months ago about, I'm going to be at the back of the beginning show. And I'm pretty sure they gave him a heads up, like what song he was going to play. How about be prepared, okay? Because way I looked at this, I thought this was going to be like the Freddie Mercury concert. You saw a whole bunch of different musicians play Queen songs and everything sounded great. It looked like they practiced. Did Sammy?
Well, if you watch the year and a half in the life of, if you watch the year and a half in the life of Metallica, they practiced extensively for that Freddie Mercury tribute concert. They had like days and days of like,
Exactly.
okay, this
And they only
vocalist
played
comes
like
in
a
with
short bit.
this vocalist comes. Well, of course, all the bands practiced on their own, but then in the main part where they all came out and sang with Roger and Brian and John, they all came into the studio and like there's the video of James going in there, stands Tony Iommi to do Stone Cold Crazy and everything, and they practiced for days.
Extreme
you could tell
played
they
that
did.
song in their
They
set a
did.
lot though. So
Yeah,
But here's the
actual-
thing:
the
you
actual,
could tell these bands didn't practice.
no,
No, but
And
you
it's
got
a
to think
shame
that
because you're honoring Black Sabbath. What the heck? Practice.
Live Aid was like basically put on like a Broadway production. They were like, you're act one, act two, act three, act four, act five. And this is how it's gonna move. And even I think getting this size of a thing together where you have the circular stage and they would just like rotate and then the back line would change, they get everything ready while the other band was playing and everything would roll forward. I agree with you, Joseph. I mean, it's like it could have been a little bit better,
Hey, the Taylor Hawkins one was done better.
Well, here's the thing. With that rotating stage, that's the exact same thing that they do at M3 every year. At Meriwether Post Pavilion has a rotating stage.
I've worked on those rotating stages down at our venue called Deer Creek, Ruhoff, Nexo, whatever that wants to be called. And we had to get under there because the motor crapped out. And we had to like put our hands on beams.
Like Ben Hurring it.
Push it around. We were like, okay, we're getting the next band out. Oh, it's my roadie days, but yeah.
But that's the thing is like, and when did they announce this? In what, the beginning of the year?
Oh yeah.
This in general, my biggest complaint with this show felt so like poorly run.
It was almost like the Taylor Hawkins tribute that they did at Wembley.
Yeah, but the thing is,
it was almost like, but that was really rushed. That was really super rushed.
This was they announced it 6 months ago. Who knows when they started planning this?
Do we know what band, Sharon?
Soundgarden.
Really?
That's what everyone's saying because
I heard they wanted money.
They were the only band that was advertised and didn't appear on the show in any capacity.
Wow.
And I was looking forward to that. I was looking forward to see Soundgarden.
There was people like Marilyn Manson and Jonathan Davis who were on the advertising, but only showed up in like those videos between bands. Soundgarden was advertised and was not there at all, wasn't on a video, wasn't on anything. And so, because they did debunk the other rumors, Sharon came out and said somebody must have asked, well, was it Maiden or was it Megadeth? And she said no to both of those.
Right.
Well,
Megadeth was my first guess. What'd you say?
The Megadeth didn't play, did they?
No, they weren't there.
Just Dave Ellefson.
Yeah, but he's not in Megadeth. So.
I know, but yeah.
He's too busy doing this.
Megadeth was my first guess, and she must have said there was like a live stream where people were asking, like throwing out names, and she said, "No, it's not Megadeth. It's not Maiden."
Did you see the jokes in the chat about Dave Ellefson?
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
But anyway,
hey, I masturbate. Do you?
But you don't send videos to kids.
No.
Dave Ellefson.
I pretty much make sure there's no evidence.
All right, let's keep moving on, man.
So next was one that I already talked about a little bit that there was some sound issues with, and that was Pantera. I thought sound like band wise, I thought they played really well. But like the sound issues, like Phil's voice was buried. Something sounded a little off about Zach's guitar.
Hold on, Joe. I'm gonna say for everyone listening or watching, the replay is better. It is.
Yeah.
Go.
Okay. But something was a little, at least on the live version, Phil's voice was buried in the mix and something sounded a little off about Zach's guitar. But I thought, other than that, they played well. They played what you'd expect them to. I'm not a huge fan of their cover of Planet Caravan, but they did it well.
Nice.
And I thought they did Electric Funeral well. I thought Rival Sons did Electric Funeral better. But I enjoyed their version as well. What did you guys think of Pantera?
I thought they were great. Yeah, I think Phil was a little low in the mix compared to the rest of the band. I could barely hear him, but I want to go look at the replay now because Mooger said it was a lot better. They fixed it. And I'm hoping they release this on 4K, man. I would like to see this.
I doubt that's going to happen.
Well, for Parkinson's, man.
Yeah, but that's going to open up a whole other can of things because it's different.
Copyright.
Yes. Because that
There's
will automatically, but that they can't control, that will automatically go to the publishers and everything.
Yeah.
There is so much stuff on YouTube right now just from the show.
Yeah.
From people on their taking it from the screen or people that were actually there.
Well,
so I don't think
they took off some pro shot stuff.
See, people have been putting stuff in the groups in Dropbox. So if you want
you know, people are posting the pro shot on YouTube and it's getting taken off.
Yeah.
They won't let that up. They'll let people's fan videos up, but they aren't letting the pro shot stuff up because that is copywritten
I
because of like
posted
the production and everything.
I woke up in the middle of the night, then I was having trouble sleeping. I posted Black Sabbath Pro Shot. That was up for about 4 or 5 hours because it was the middle of the night. Now it's gone. But
Yeah.
that's what I watched. That looked
I
awesome.
should have grabbed it off my grabber earlier.
But
Fuck.
what was I gonna say? But yeah, like think about the Neil Sean DVD that came out that everyone was
Oh
really happy with.
yeah. I got that.
Greg Raleigh hated him over it because it was all supposed to be um for charity.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you put that DVD out, it ain't for charity anymore.
No.
So I doubt we're ever gonna see a DVD release. And if we do, it's gonna be kind of like the first couple versions of the Freddie Mercury tribute concert. There was whole bands that were cut out of it because of copyright
Live Aid
stuff.
too.
Live Aid too. There was bands that were cut out of
And
the DVD
Live
because of
8 too.
copyright.
Remember Live 8 was all fucked up too.
But
Dude,
anyway,
I don't need to mess with physical media
I don't need this.
again.
This was not nearly
You
good enough
got
to be
a
on physical
million
media.
CDs behind you. I've got 3 times those. I've got
Yeah.
5,000 vinyls, unfortunately. But if I'm gonna watch something,
I
I
gotta
want to
catch
find
up.
the streaming service. If I'm gonna watch this again, I'm gonna watch this tomorrow once you repost it, Mark, and I'm gonna be like, oh boy.
Well, but also this wasn't the Freddie Mercury tribute.
You're
concert. This was
drinking,
not,
aren't you, Mooger?
This was not nearly good enough to be on.
Mooger, you're
be
drinking,
released
aren't
on-
you?
No.
Oh, you're not? Oh.
But
Oh.
anyway, let's move on.
I
Quick.
saw a shot earlier.
Let's move on.
Well, this is iced tea. But
Oh.
when you say you want to do a groove, I got my unsweetened iced tea with a little lemon
That's good.
squirt.
That's good.
Okay, so up next was Tool. I know Mark said he didn't see Tool.
I saw some Tool.
Okay.
It wasn't that good.
My friend made this comment. I kind of agree with him. I think they didn't pick the best songs they could have picked to fit this vibe. They're slotted between Pantera and Slayer. Okay.
Walk gently there, Joseph.
I love Tool.
Gently.
I love Tool too.
This is sitting right next to me.
I love Tool.
Joseph, I love you so much because I know you are completely honest.
They should have came on before Pantera.
I just think that there was, and I love both of their original songs they played. I love 46 and 2. I love Enema. I think they could have picked heavier songs or groovier songs to fit this particular show.
Take a shot.
I do. I love both of these songs. If I went to see Tool, I'd be more than happy to see the songs that they played. I don't know if they fit well with this particular show, and I also think that they were having some sound issues too.
Well, I think
Maynard was having in-ear issues.
Yes.
Yes. I noticed that, like him especially, you could see like he had a look on his face like something wasn't right.
Well, he kept like looking over and he kept looking over and he would yell something and I was like,
yes,
he would like look and I was like, shit, he can't hear.
Yeah,
he's not hearing himself. And
so I think it threw off their performance a little bit. I mean, I love the songs they played. I think it was a little bit of a weird vibe between Pantera and Slayer, especially with what Slayer comes out and just does. Slayer comes out and does 20 minutes of just skull crushing after this.
Honestly, I think that the fucking songs they picked were fucking perfect. I was like, holy shit. And you had the bass player I was like, holy shit, they're playing this song. And then I could tell Maynard was having problems hearing himself. Dana on point as always. Adam, I think he was half asleep the entire show.
I think he was.
The entire show. I'm talking from Sabbath all the way to their set. He's like, yeah, where am I? And I'm like, but you're playing awesome, dude, but you have no personality. And but I agree with you, Joe. I mean, his Maynard's vocal wasn't the best. I've heard him so much better in live setting. I think he was a little lost. I don't think he was hearing what he needed to hear in his monitor. So he's a faux hawk. Take it off, dude. You're bald. You're like me. Just take it off, man.
Well, that was a fake hairpiece, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
I know he's bald.
so was Gary Holt. We'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
But anyone else have anything they wanted to say about Tool's set?
Tool. I was surprised he was in front of the stage. That's about it. 'Cause I always-
That's been like 20 years. He plays live now.
Oh,
He
okay.
stands in front of. He doesn't stand behind the drum kit anymore.
Well, I heard the last tour he was standing on the side of the drum kit.
It was right there, and he has like a backdrop.
Okay.
You can see his silhouette. Usually, it's a silhouette. Yeah.
Anything else?
That's it.
Okay, so next was, in my opinion, musically probably the best of the day, and that was Slayer. I think Slayer came out and killed it. I think they were the ones who I mentioned earlier had just played a show in England the day before, so they'd been there for a couple days. They were very warmed up. They came out and just killed. They sounded amazing.
Yeah.
There was no sound issues whatsoever. They were on point. You could tell they were loving every second of it. Tom Araya had that smirk on his face. It was amazing. They
and
came out
and there was
opened,
a pit too.
Yeah. There was like 6 pits.
They opened up with Disciple,
which was a weird song to open up with.
No, it isn't. I saw them open up live with that twice.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember the last time I saw them. Well, yeah, because they went right into War Ensemble, which was great. Then they did Wicked World. Wicked World might have been my favorite Sabbath cover of the whole day. I think that was amazing. Wicked World, them doing Wicked World was amazing because they nailed it. Like musically, they nailed it. They were awesome.
Every band nailed it musically.
No, Lamb of God did not. Lamb of God did not. Lamb of God messed
musically
up
they did.
No.
They did. Come on, man.
I do not need to hear
the grave.
I don't need to hear a death metal version of Children of the Grave. But then so they did Wicked World right into South of Heaven, and then finished up reprising Wicked World, which was amazing. That was epic. And then of course right into Raining Blood. There was like 6 hits going at the same time in the crowd. And then right into Angel of Death. They were amazing. I'm going to be seeing them in a couple months. It is going to be great. I'm so excited. It'll be my second time seeing them. Amazing.
Aren't they
Look at you, Joseph, a Christian man, loving Slayer.
It has nothing to do with. I like a lot of evil music. It's just Tom's voice.
It's not even evil. It's just
dark. Tom Araya is Catholic.
I know. I'm not saying Slayer is evil. I just don't like his voice.
Well, that's a you problem, Mark.
That's a me problem. Yes, I understand it. And the music is not as groovy as Metallica or Anthrax or Megadeth.
The breakdown on Raining Blood.
Oh, God, no.
The breakdown on Raining Blood or the breakdown in a War Ensemble.
Oh, yeah.
I'll give you a breakdown right here. I hate Tom's voice.
Slayer fucking oozes on my face.
If you think it's funny that I like Slayer, my best friend that I've been talking about this whole time was in seminary for 2 years to become a Catholic priest.
Nice.
Last time we saw Slayer was in the pit during Raining Blood with his rosary in his pocket. So we got that one covered.
I've never said Slayer was evil.
So what I'm saying,
Mooger just brought it up. It was funny that being a Christian.
But it's like I have been a Christian my entire life, and I've loved Slayer, but 0 songs of Slayer tell you to be a Satanist or tell you to worship Satan.
They're talking about the world and the
they're just talking about the dark side of life.
A man. Yeah, they're talking about. I understand that, and it's like Bushy called me on this. You don't like Slayer because they're evil, and I go, no, I don't like Slayer because of Tom. That's about it. If they had a better singer, I'd probably get into them because they do have good lyrics.
If they had a different singer, I probably wouldn't like them because it fits so well.
If they had Joey Belladonna, they'd rule.
Okay, let me go barf for a second.
Go.
Joey Belladonna could never do anything that heavy. I'm sorry.
Yes, he can.
No, he could not. Anthrax.
Yes, he can.
Anthrax.
Could hear Joey going.
Oh, okay. How about John Bush? John Bush could do Slayer better than.
Not better, but I'd love to hear that though.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I am south of heaven.
I can hear
Tom's
John
voice
Bush
is
doing
just
that.
perfect for Slayer. It fits so well. But we're getting off on this.
I am south of heaven.
But Slayer was indeed the act of the day. They're Ozfest veterans. They were always the highlight of the Ozfest shows of the 90s. So Slayer rule, that's for sure.
So up next was a band that really surprised people, and that was Guns N' Roses. I thought I didn't even mind them doing Welcome to the Jungle in Paradise City. Everyone immediately started goofing on them when they did that.
Especially Tim.
But I thought Ralph went off.
Ralph liked it at first.
I wasn't a fan of It's All Right. I think they had some audio issues during It's All Right because they came out and Axel just went right into it, and I think something was off because I could tell through most of the set that he was
a weird
in-ear
placement. They
issues.
probably should
Yeah.
start with It's All Right.
If they would have come out and started with Never Say Die, that would have been better, I think.
Perfect.
But as soon as they went into Never Say Die, Junior's Eyes, Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, no one expected that, I don't think.
No.
And I thought it was amazing.
They were great. They were great songs, and then they started singing hers, and he sounded like Kermit the Frog and Mickey Mouse.
I don't think he sounded that bad. I've heard him sound a lot worse.
I thought Axel
Sabbath
songs very well, actually. Oh,
Yeah.
just the middle section of Sabbath Blood. But it's a hard part to sing.
Well, that's because, and that one was because he got thrown off of the beat.
Can we say
if
just
you
Slash
noticed-
killed it on guitar?
Oh, he did the whole bit, and you noticed not a keyboard in sight.
Yes.
They left Dizzy Reed and the chick at home. It was just the three classic guys. Whatever his name is, the other guitars they've had with him forever.
I do want to hear Dizzy's
And then the
band,
new
Hookers
drummer.
and Blow. But yeah.
Did you see Izzy?
No.
Did you see Izzy?
Izzy wasn't there. There was somebody else.
Fuck yeah, Izzy was there.
No,
That
it
wasn't Izzy.
Yes, he was, dude. Rewatch it.
Where?
I just dude, Izzy was off.
That
to
would
the
have been
side.
all over social media.
Dude.
No, that was
I'm
a guy who
telling
looked.
you,
That's a guy
Izzy
who looks
was
like
there.
Izzy. That's a guy who looks like Izzy.
It looks like Izzy.
No,
Because Izzy
it
doesn't even
wasn't.
have long hair anymore. It's really short. If you've seen him lately, dude.
Okay, who was that guy off the side?
That was their other guitar player. I forgot his name. Bumblefoot?
No, he's not
No,
in the band
God
anymore.
damn it.
He wasn't in there anymore?
Bumblefoot.
I thought he was still
No,
there.
it's a different guy. He's been with him forever.
Come
Um,
on, Joe. Correct me. Correct me.
Oh,
Who was
God,
that
what's his
guy?
name?
Who was that guy?
Because somebody said that and Joe, you corrected them on this.
So that was not Izzy.
No. Jesus, what is his name?
Vern.
Why can't I find it? Vern, yeah,
Vern.
Vern.
What is called Vern?
Richard Fortis.
Yeah, Fortis.
Oh, there it is. Fortis, yeah.
Yeah, that guy.
That guy.
Yeah.
That guy.
No, he's been with the band since like 2002.
Yeah, he's been there forever.
But no, and I thought they did.
He just looks like.
He does actually look quite a bit like Izzy.
And
Yeah.
Izzy don't look like that anymore, by the way.
No,
But
he don't.
I thought Slash did a great job, and the new drummer I thought did a great job.
Yeah.
But
Never
what
say
happened?
die.
They should have taken this opportunity to get Popcorn back on the drums. They should have had Izzy there. And they should have just done.
They don't want to pay Izzy.
I just saw Steven Adler 2 months ago. He's happy doing what he does. He would never be able to be back in Guns N' Roses.
Oh.
He would never.
Too many
He would-
strokes and too
he
many.
would
Not
No, he
even
wouldn't-
for 3 songs.
Nope.
Not
No.
even for 3 songs.
He can't.
You don't
He can
think-
barely play 3 songs. He's doing full sets with his band. They are about 20 beats a minute slower than how they sound on the record.
So it's
And Guns N' Roses doesn't play songs.
Yeah.
When they opened up with Welcome to the Jungle, it was da 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 da. I'm not even joking with you.
No shit.
I'm not even joking with you. It
So
was sad. He could still he could still and anytime he had to do a drum fill, it slowed the song down even more.
Well, I honestly, I still wish that they would have all been just for one song. Do Paradise City.
He could do
Boom,
one song.
Bah, boom, bah, boom.
Yeah.
Bah.
That was actually a song he could. Here's the thing. That song goes well with him until it gets to the part where after the whistle. Then it just falls apart.
He loses the groove.
He loses the groove.
Yeah.
Loses the
He can do
groove.
the boom, bah, boom, bop. He can do that perfectly fine. But then when he gets into
come
the
on,
groove,
man. I think Steven can still do that.
No, no, no. I've seen live video.
Mooger,
No,
I
no.
just saw him live 2 months ago.
Okay, so I'm gonna watch him do that, and I'm gonna jump on stage, and I'm gonna carry
Okay,
the drums for him
you do that. You do
because
that, Mooger.
I can't do any tom fills, but I
Yeah,
can do a
you
snare.
can just do a straight 4/4 groove.
I can't
Um,
do any fill, so enjoy that.
but yeah, and that's, all power to him because he's still enjoying himself up there. He smiles and it's great.
Yeah.
And I love that he's able to still do it, but he would not be able to be back in
They,
Guns
they
N'
should
Roses
get
for
Bobby
a
Blotzer
minute.
with Guns N' Roses.
At least Izzy could still do it. They just nobody wants to talk to Izzy, I don't think.
I think Bobby Blotzer
think,
would have been a great replacement. He's got that groove.
I think Izzy, he's just like he's
He
still
doesn't need
business.
Oh,
He's still a
Izzy
business
would have
partner
done
in the
it, but
Guns
they
N'
didn't
Roses
want to give
camp.
him full share.
Yeah.
I think no. I think he's still
No,
a
they
business partner.
that has been documented that they didn't want to give him full share. They wanted to treat him like a hired
like
gun.
he was going to be a hired hand.
A hired hand, yeah.
Because Duff and Slash were going to get full
Yeah.
royalties.
But
Steven and Izzy weren't.
his monthly statements, he's still getting Guns N' Roses money.
Well, yeah, he's still getting royalties from the first three albums.
And
but
other than royalties, I think he's still part of the business. I think
I
he's
don't think
still
so.
part.
No, he's not.
Or
It's
not
all,
like
it's
they
all
bought-
Axel.
they
It's all
bought him
Axel.
out of that business.
Not of like we made a new Guns N' Roses T-shirt. The logo's on it, therefore he gets money. No, that he's not.
Oh no! I'm saying just like when certain
Well, he's
members,
got publishing. He's got his own publishing. Yeah.
Guns N' Roses is a corporation.
Yes,
It's Guns N' Roses Inc.
Yes,
And I
he is
think
not part of that. I don't think
It's not
You
like
don't
Bunny
think he
Carlos.
is? Okay.
It's not Bunny
No.
Carlos with Cheap Trick. No.
because I mean he left so early.
Yeah.
They weren't Guns
Okay.
N' Roses Inc. when he left
Yeah.
Gotcha.
because he wasn't even on the Illusions tour. He was barely on the Illusions albums.
And we don't know. He
Yeah.
could be, but we don't.
which is also why that's 100% why I think that Duff and Slash would have gotten full membership in the band and Izzy and Steven wouldn't, because when they left before the giant stadium tours.
Yeah,
they
sure.
left before all this stuff.
Sure.
And also,
So I do.
also,
like,
you can-
I'm with
you can do a
I think
successful-
Slash came back at a percentage. Duff came back at a percentage.
No, they came back.
No,
at
they
full
came back as
percentage.
full members.
Full members.
Right, a percentage of full.
oh yes,
members.
of the total, yes,
Yeah.
of the
Yeah,
ownership.
of the total.
They wanted to give Izzy a third.
The lion's share. Of
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, they would have just been Izzy and Steven would have just been, you did a show, here's your $30,000.
Yeah.
Like that's
Right.
You don't get a percentage of anything, you don't get this, you don't get that, because one, they were out of the band before either of the other guys were, and two, Axl knows, because Axl's smart, he can do a Guns N' Roses giant stadium. Well, he could do it without Slash. He did it plenty of times. He can
Big
do
time.
he can do a Guns N' Roses reunion without Izzy and without Steven. He can't do it without Slash. Well,
And Duff.
he can't do Duff is kind of on the borderline, but he really can't do it without Slash.
Now you need that.
I
Top
guarantee
hat, man.
you, he could have brought Slash back without Duff, and they still would have called it Not in This Lifetime.
I
tour,
guess so.
everything,
Yeah.
and just kept whoever was playing bass before.
But Duff is a pretty good songwriter with them. He didn't.
Well, no, he is, but like to the average person who goes to see a Guns N' Roses show,
Yeah.
if you see Axl and Slash on stage, that's all they care about.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't listen to Duff's
They
solo
don't
stuff.
they
It's
don't
pretty
care about
bad.
Duff singing a Stooges song. They don't.
Duff's solo
I don't
stuff
care
is
about
pretty
Duff
bad.
singing a Stooges song. I don't want to see Duff sing a Stooges
No,
song.
I don't want to. I want to see the Stooges singing the Stooges song. You know, that's about it.
But
Where are we
anyway,
at, Joseph?
we were saying the thing what I think somebody mentioned about them doing Sabbath Bloody Sabbath. I think what happened there was Axl's in ear, because Axl still sounded great on the bridge, but he was just off the beat. He wasn't with the band, and I think he just got off and never got back on. The same thing happened with the middle section of Welcome to the Jungle, but once he got back into the last verse, he got back on. So I think he was another one that was having some in-ear monitor problems. But I thought they sounded great. And then up next was Metallica. I was not a fan of what they opened with. I did not like their version of Hole in the Sky. I thought it sounded weird. They
I
picked a
knew they were
weird
gonna. I
key.
knew they were gonna play that because
Oh
that's
yeah, I
they
definitely knew they were
play
going to
at
play it.
It's like they know that song, so they're probably
Yes,
like, "What song do we always play with? Let's play
but I
Home."
think it was in a bit of a weird key because, of course, I understand that they have to drop it for James's vocals because James cannot hit those Ozzy sabotage
Where
vocals.
key? Are you talking about keys?
Yeah, because it was not they dropped it, but they didn't drop it just
Well,
like
they had to drop it for the. They didn't have to switch up guitars between the next song, man.
yeah. Well, no, they did. They switched guitars before
God
Creeping
damn
Death.
it, did they? I haven't
Yeah,
seen it.
uh-huh. They did. Um, uh, but it was
Okay, I
weird.
was gonna bust your balls on a key change, but
Yeah,
you
no,
go.
they did. They played it in a real when you so you didn't watch Metallica yet.
I haven't. No.
When you watch Metallica, tell me that they didn't do Hole in the Sky in a weird key
They
that
did.
didn't sound right for the song.
It didn't sound right.
Because you
No.
can drop Hole in the Sky and still sound fine
Sure.
in like drop tuning or something, and it would sound
Right.
fine. It was weird.
People were making
Really?
fun of Lars. I go, fuck
It
you.
sounded unnatural. Even the way, like, even James singing it, like, it was like,
So I'm just kind of wondering. I mean, I'm a guitar player, so
yeah,
I know how to drop D,
yeah.
drop C. How do
I'm
you
not sure
drop
what,
something that doesn't I mean, Sabbath was always drop D because of
yeah,
Iommi's finger.
yeah.
So
So whatever they
where
did, they
the
changed the
Well,
key
Black
even
Sabbath
weirder.
would do drop D, but occasionally the E string would be down to a C sharp because they'd drop
okay,
down another half step, like for children.
okay, okay,
But
okay,
here's the thing: it wasn't even just like they played it in the tuning and then James just dropped an octave on the vocals. They did it in a
right,
different key entirely from what the
okay,
song is,
okay.
and it was weird, and it
So
just didn't sound right. But then
what was the next song
Creeping
they
Death,
hit? Who?
Creeping Death,
Okay.
That was amazing.
and that sounded great.
It sounded
That sounded
great.
Okay.
I
amazing.
loved
Well,
it.
maybe they just did that in that key to flow into the next song.
I don't know, but the rest of the set sounded amazing. They did Hole in the Sky, they did Creeping Death, For Whom the Bell Tolls. They kicked the shit out of. They did Johnny Blade, and that was amazing. And then they
I
closed with Battery and
I
Master of
I
Puppets.
would really enjoy the deep tracks the bands play. Like Guns N' Roses did a lot
Yeah,
of Never Say Die tracks, and
which that's what I mentioned earlier with Hailstorm doing Perry Mason. It wouldn't be until Guns N' Roses and Metallica that somebody brought back deep cuts again. But what I loved, and this is what I had to say about Tool earlier. Metallica picked a set that was perfect for this. They did Creeping Death of their own songs. They did Creeping Death, For Whom the Bell Tolls, Battery, and Master of Puppets. They didn't pull out Enter Sandman. They didn't
Right.
do Sad but True. They didn't do Until It Sleeps. They didn't do any of
I
that
know.
stuff.
I've made a joke in the chat. Oh no,
They
Enter
didn't do
Sandman.
anything where like they picked the heaviest, hardest songs they could think of theirs to fit with what they were doing.
That
And I
was
think
good.
that worked really well.
Yeah.
But I thought, other than Hole in the Sky, I thought Metallica sounded great.
Yeah.
What did you guys think?
I thought they sounded amazing. And yeah, Hole in the Sky was a little off. I agree with that. But the thing is, I'm in the RNCP chat, we're watching a video, everybody's like making fun of Lars.
I didn't think Lars was too bad.
Lars was great. Oh, Lars is getting
Lars,
tired.
okay,
Lars
Lars
can't
was
hold
not
the...
great.
But he's Lars. He keeps the beat. He's doing a good job. He's doing a
There
good
was a couple
job.
times. There was a couple times where he lost it a little bit, but
Oh, come on. He's
I
still
think
great. He's
I
still a
think
great drummer.
I think
I
the,
think he's one of the best.
I think the main
I think
reason
he's one of
why
the best thrash drummers besides Dave
he was.
Lombardo. Besides Dave
He
Lombardo,
was.
I think he still is because nobody plays like him still.
I think the main
That's
reason
because I don't think you can
Lars
learn how
gets
to
a
play
lot
the
of
way
heat
Lars
is
played.
because when I saw him on the Master of Puppets tour, he was on fire. Like
Fucking, you saw
they,
them there?
when the set list, it's almost like the set list was like 18 songs long, and James like, we got a problem, we got 18 songs of set list. And Lars like, no worries, we'll finish in an hour and a half. I'll just speed up a little bit, and that's what it was like. It's like they played Master of Puppets and Battery even faster, but it was great for the mosh and the thrashing in the audience. So that was Metallica
I
peak.
thought they sounded. I've never
And,
seen a bad Metallic show. Oh wait, I did see him 6 times. I didn't count that one.
and the, and
Because I
the
was talking.
problem is people think that Lars could still do that. He can't. It's impossible.
Because
I like that.
I was talking to my girlfriend. She's awesome. Audra let me watch it while I was at her house yesterday. So I was watching it, and she was laughing at all you guys. She was laughing at Ralph's comments a lot. It's like,
Ralph was on fire.
Ralph was on fire.
Ralph got banned because of something he said in that.
Oh, that's why he wasn't there?
Yeah.
How do you get
Because
banned
Oh, I
from
was
your-
wondering where he was. He was
Because
there.
after between Guns N' Roses and Metallica, he had made like a meth joke or something, and he got
I
banned
remember that bad joke. I told my
How do you
girlfriend
get
there.
banned from your own group?
He
though?
got banned from
because it happens.
I got banned
Wow.
from my own group many times. Seriously, I understand it.
You're-
Ralph,
you're
I
the-
was
but you're
wondering.
the
I thought
moderator
he
of the
bailed
group.
on us. I thought he
How
bailed
can
on
you-
us.
But how do you get banned? You're the moderator. You know, if you get
No,
banned,
you get banned from your own
because
group.
and Ralph told a story years ago. He said his band members used to get pissed off at him because he was the only moderator on the Thrash or Die page, on like their like official band page.
Yeah.
And so anytime he would go to Facebook jail, that page would get locked, and somebody else would have to try to log in and get access to the page because he was banned for 30 days.
That's why you make yourself monitor. You make different profiles. You make yourself admitted on both. That's what I do.
That's why Ian has Morris Buttermaker.
Yeah, that's why I
that's
have
why,
Alden Markey.
and that's why
Alden Mark.
there's
Yeah.
Alden Mark.
So I'm not gonna hear the rest of this. I have to watch it.
You need
I
to
have
watch it.
not.
Okay.
I saw right where we're up to. I've watched it.
Well, you can
So
just hear.
anyway, I won't be commenting, but I'm gonna hear. So go.
Yeah.
Go.
So-
go.
But the thing is, I was wondering where Ralph was, especially when Sabbath and Ozzy were playing. I
Yeah.
go, where
Because
is he?
he got banned because I was waiting for when Metallica did Johnny Blade, because he was so happy when Guns N' Roses did Junior's Eyes and Never Say Die
I
and
know.
Sabbath
I
Bloody
was going,
Sabbath.
where's Ralph? I thought he bailed on us.
Yeah, so he got banned.
That sucks.
between bands, he got banned from the
That
page.
sucks. Hey, Ralph, man. I'm sorry. I thought you bailed on us, brother.
Yeah.
I was going.
So,
I was on after he left. I was saying on fire comments too.
So after Metallica, there was
Me and
about a
Aaron
45.
Baker.
Apparently, after Metallica, there was about a 45-minute break. Apparently, what happened? The festival was running on schedule until Metallica. I think Metallica must have started a little late because if you noticed, there was a longer break between Guns N' Roses and Metallica than there had been between the other bands. I don't know if something was like technically wrong, but Metallica went on late, and then Ozzy ended up going on like 45 minutes late.
Oh wow!
There was a huge break between Metallica and Ozzy, and that will lead me to make a hypothesis here in a little bit, because there's one big thing that was missing from the last two sets. The first one, Ozzy didn't play No More Tears.
I was pissed off he played Mama, I'm Coming Home. And I told my girlfriend, why is he
I knew
playing
he
No
was going
More
to play
Tears?
that. I knew he was going to play
I wanted
that.
to hear No More Tears so
But
bad.
I figured that he was going to close out with No More Tears. And
Well,
then
the
he did.
set list was leaked online, wasn't it? I heard that.
think so.
Yeah, it was.
And No More Tears was rumored.
Yes.
And here's where I'm interested to see if something comes out. That was the song that Jake was rumored to play.
Ooh.
No More Tears.
Was No More Tears.
That's a Zach solo for the
Oh,
80s,
I know
though.
that. But that was the weird thing. And so Ozzy's set list was I Don't Know, Mr. Crowley, Suicide Solution, Mama, I'm Coming Home, and Crazy Train. So 4 songs off Blizzard, which is kind of cool. And the band was his usual band, except it wasn't Blasco on bass. It was Mike Inez, which was really cool to see.
Yeah,
Because Mike Inez hasn't.
Who?
Mike Inez from Alice in Chains,
Really?
Yeah.
No More Tears.
who played with him on the No More Tours tour.
Not on the album.
Oh,
on the number.
dude, I know who Michael is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't
So-
seen the Ozzy portion.
So Mike Inez, which is awesome that he played on with that, but there was no lineup changes at all during Ozzy set. Rudy Sarzo didn't come out. Jakey Lee didn't come out. I'm trying to think if anyone else that was there played with Ozzy at any point. I think it was just those two.
Everybody
Mike
was
Borden- Mike
complaining
Borden was
that.
not-
Mike Borden was there. He didn't come out. Trujillo was there. Trujillo didn't come out and play at all.
Mhm.
I was surprised that there was no
Didn't
lineup
need
changes
to.
during
Didn't
Ozzy's
need
set.
to. Just let Ozzy do Ozzy.
Well, I know they didn't need to, but it would have been cool being like, oh, okay, cool. These guys played with Ozzy before. Everybody gets one last time playing with Ozzy,
Right.
which would have been
Right.
cool. But they didn't
Right.
do that. He played through the set. The only thing that would lead me to think that No More Tears wasn't on the set was that he played 5 songs, and that was kind of what was rumored, was that he was going to play 5 songs. What surprised me more was what happened next. Was Black Sabbath's set. They only played 4 songs, and they didn't play Black Sabbath.
Yeah, everybody's complaining about
I
that.
was expecting that. I thought they were going to open with Black Sabbath.
They only played 4 songs. It was weird.
But Ozzy played 9 songs though.
But here's my thing. This is what my theory is. Ozzy, like I said, came on 45 minutes late for his solo set. By the time Sabbath got on, if their plan was to either open or close with Black Sabbath, that would have been either the second longest or the longest song they would have been playing. And I think that there was something going on with like a noise ordinance, and like they had to be out by a certain time. They had to be done.
I could agree with that because you also have to factor in Bill Ward was back with Sabbath and he was playing a little more down tempo so he could
He
keep up.
sounded great though.
He
But the
sounded
thing is,
great. I'm not making fun of Bill Ward. I have to understand Bill Ward is 75 now. So the songs were just a tad slower. I mean slightly. It still sounded good.
yeah.
And it's only
But the fact that
I only saw a couple of mistakes in there, but they sounded great.
I think that they were cutting it close with the time, because there was like when I saw like that when they first leaked all the set times, it was like on the bottom like hard out at this time, like you
Travis
have to be
Barker
off
fucked it up.
stage. Well, no, I think something like I said, they were perfectly on time until Metallica,
Yeah.
and then there was a weird lag between Guns N' Roses and Metallica, and I don't know what it was, if there was like technical issues or something, and then there was an even longer lag between Metallica and Ozzy. So I don't know what happened, but either way, if I had to guess, they had to cut the song
They,
Black Sabbath.
the show had to be done by a certain time, like you said.
Yes, which sucks so bad that they had to cut that song. Because here's my thing: if you're going to cut a song, that was the one you're going to cut. They're not cutting any of the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
Although NIB, you could have cut NIB.
I love NIB though.
But like if it's NIB versus the song Black Sabbath, I'll take
No,
Black
I
Sabbath
would
any
have
day.
rather heard Black Sabbath.
And so that was my thing. Because you're not going to cut any of the 3 songs off Paranoid they did, because that's you have to play those.
Mm-hmm.
But everything sounded great with Ozzy and Sabbath, their sets, but I think something was off, and I think it was they were hitting like a time limit,
Yeah, probably.
and I think that was it. And I don't know if there was something like technical going on before, because there was, like I said, there was that long break between Metallica and Ozzy, so I don't know what was going on, but that was kind of my biggest thought was, oh, he didn't do No More Tears, and then oh, they didn't do Black Sabbath. So that was kind of my thought.
So they had to cut a song out each step. But yeah, but Bill Ward sounded great. I thought, like you said, he simplified a few sections, which is smart. You know, he's the jazz swing type of player, but you have to understand he was probably rusty because I don't think he's played like consistently over the years. I thought Geezer played phenomenal. He didn't miss a beat at all. I thought his playing was excellent. Specifically in Iron Man, I like how he switched to the pick for that fast bass section after the guitar solo. Then went back to his fingers. Tony Iommi, you know, he sounded awesome. Ozzy, surprisingly, obviously I haven't sang in a while, but his vocals sound even better. It might have been a little bit of like mixing magic too, because I saw the pro shot, which was probably like maybe like fixed up a little bit, but I thought the band sounded good. Ozzy forgot to say I am Iron Man. That's
Yeah.
like yeah, I guess that's like the biggest maybe thing you know like point out like, hey, how come you didn't say I am Iron Man? Like that's about it, you know. He didn't do the that section, but the audience did it that
Yeah.
oh, he was singing that for years, but he let the crowd sing it, so that was kind of but
Yeah.
yeah, great show. Overall, great show.
It was free, and thank you for Gail
Yeah.
for posting it on RMCP. That was amazing. And
I do think if I would have,
Did you guys watch the pro shot that I posted before I got taken out or not?
no, I didn't have a chance.
No, because I'm pretty sure it's gone.
It's gone.
yeah,
I should have recorded it. I mean, should have
I
downloaded.
should have grabbed it with my grabber that I used for the podcast to get music
Mhm.
on the show. But
I'm sure it'll be back up.
maybe. Man, I'm just saying, man, thank you to Ozzy. Thank you to Black Sabbath for all the great years, man. You guys, without you guys, and without the Beatles, we wouldn't have had Black Sabbath. I just got to put the Beatles in there. Without the Beatles, there wouldn't have been no Black Sabbath. Without Black Sabbath, there wouldn't have been no metal. So thank you guys for inspiring all these artists that we love
I'd
today.
say this one more thing, Sharon. I know you're probably not watching this, but let Ozzy retire. I know you got this idea now, like, well, if we have a band
The
open
thing,
for Ozzy, we
the
could bring him out for three
thing
songs.
is, Ozzy doesn't want to stop playing. It's not
I
her, it's
know, but
him.
let Ozzy rest,
Did
okay?
you see how happy he was on the
I
stage last
but
night?
but
Did
it's
you
all
see him smile?
but
I
it's
haven't seen him smile
also
that long.
sad. Guys in the chair, he
He's
doesn't look very
happy.
well healthy. I know he sounded pretty good last night, but just let the poor guy
He
retire.
doesn't want to. The
That was
thing
an
is,
amazing
he
show to go out
he
on.
he
All
gets
right, then
high off
fine. Become Kiss and then sound
he
horrible.
gets high off the adulation of the fans, man.
Every musician does, Mark. But if I'm his family and I am not in it for the money,
Then don't say
then tell him that
then
you
don't say
can't
this is
do it
the end.
anymore.
Okay. I hate when people say that. Oh, this is the last one, I promise. No, don't say it. I appreciate honesty over someone saying like, well, this is my last tour, this is my last show.
Yeah.
Rush did
No,
it.
watch. He'll go on a festival and she'll just say, "Well, that was his last time with Black Sabbath."
Rush did it.
Yeah.
Oh,
And that's why I love Rush because I respect
well,
them for doing
there
that.
there there
And
was
if Getty and Alex came
there
out
was
and toured as Rush
extenuating
again,
circumstance
I'd
with
call
Rush.
them posers too.
Well, the thing is, Getty and Alex wanted to go play Europe on that last tour, and Neil didn't. So just
And they
give
retired, and that's
they
perfectly
retired.
fine.
Yeah,
And if Getty and Alex want to
But
still go out and play, and they
if
go
Neil
out as and they if they go out as Getty Lee and Alex Lifeson, I'm more than happy for
I
them.
agree.
If they go out as Rush, then they're just as much of a poser as everybody else
I
is.
but
agree
say
with you.
but
I
say
still go
Neil
see
did
it.
say Neil didn't get sick and he's still around today. I'm
No,
sure
I
they
don't think
have
he would have
a
came out
reunion.
because
No,
he was
he
in
he
pain.
would have because he was ready to
His
stay home with his
arms,
family.
and he was having
They
fun with
all
his
say
daughter.
that. They all say
No,
that.
no, the thing is, he said he didn't want to go out. He wanted to go out as Neil Peart. He didn't want to go out as a former Neil Peart. He
All
said
right,
that,
but
yeah.
he's the
Because
only
he
one.
said he was getting pain in his arm, his ligaments, playing drums, and he didn't want to go like the song
I can
off
believe that.
Signals. What's the song off Signals that he talks about where the dancer can't dance no more? He talked about that. He said he didn't want to be that in that song that he put out there that goes out there just for the adulation, but they can't do it anymore. You know,
He's a rare breed then. He's
it's
the
a
only
rare breed because he's Neil Peart. All right, guys, man, promote your stuff, Joseph.
Yeah, Heavy Water 77. We just have a new episode that just dropped a couple hours ago. We review Styx's Serpent is Rising album. We're going to be recording our Man of Miracles episode this week, and then we're going to be doing an episode next week to celebrate the finishing of the Wood Nickel era with a special guest that we're going to talk about here soon. And yeah, so we're going to have some cool stuff coming up here on Heavy Water 77. Check it out.
And Captain Howdy, you don't have anything.
Well, check it. This show inspired me to check out bands that I really have. Actually, shame on me. I never really heard of Rival. I heard of Rival Sons, but I didn't hear Rival Sons before. So, but this show is going to inspire me to go check out bands I didn't really give a chance.
Oh,
So,
Rival Sons hasn't made a bad album, by the way. Just
okay, so there you go.
Uh,
I hope the younger audience that watch the show too is inspired to watch check those bands out too.
and check out my radio show on Cranium Radio every Tuesday night, Freeform Rock Show, where I start at 7 p.m. Pacific to 11 p.m. Pacific. You guys could do the math on the Eastern and Central, whatever mountain time. Because
10 to 2.
yeah, I don't feel like doing it. But check it out, man. I play an eclectic version of music. I play fucking Duran, the Sabbath, fucking anything.
It's a
Genesis,
dead
prog,
man's
every
party. Leave your
fucking new
soul
wave, goth,
to the door.
whatever, man. I play it
Oh,
all.
Boingo Oingo Boingo.
Yeah, I don't know. I might have an Oingo Boingo this, but I'm gonna play some Breaking Benjamin, by the way, because he reminded me of that. I'll go, what did Joseph's?
You know what you should do? You should play the bands that played the back to the beginning.
Oh, I'm gonna play some of those bands too. I'm gonna play some Rival Sons. I'm gonna play some Guns N' Roses. I'm gonna play some
and
Metallica. I always play those bands.
Gojira, however you say
I
that.
don't have Gojira though.
They used to
But
be called Godzilla.
just check out Freeform Rock Podcast. Check out the BS sessions. We're having an album battle this Thursday. It's Accept versus the Scorpions. So check that out. I don't think Joseph's going to be on there, but he will be on the next episode after that. We're doing a top 11 gangster movies. Check that out. We're the
No,
fuck
we're
out of
not.
here. No? What is it?
No, that's in 3 weeks.
3 weeks. So what is after that?
The bands that aren't from America or England.
What?
Bands that aren't from America or England, Mark.
I don't remember that one.
Oh my God, you're the one that came up with the idea.
I know, but I've been drinking. I got it
The
in my
bands
notes.
that aren't from North America or England. Remember, you could talk about
Oh yeah, oh
Italian
yeah.
bands.
Bands are not from
Yes.
North America or England. All right, we're the fuck out of here. Later, guys. Bye.